All right, looks like I'm on. Hello, beautiful people, tribe of many colors. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I said I'd come on and do a part two. Here I am. Your word is your bond. So if you could keep your word, always keep your word. And I decided I'm going to come on and do lives a lot more this year. That's my New Year's resolution, right? To kind of get a little more comfortable with kind of channeling and talking to my guys live instead of just, you know, letting it come when it comes. Hey, Gene. Nice to see you. Mwah. Thank you for being here. We're going to do part two. I'm waiting to see if anybody else is going to hop in. I appreciate you for being here. So before I was even preparing to come on and talk, hey, Gene, can you let me know if you can hear me okay before I start going too deep? If the volume's good, if you could let me know. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, it's cold over here in Florida. I think Florida is broken. I heard somebody say that once, and man, it's cold. About a couple hours ago, it was 52 degrees. So I know it's colder than that now. So, yeah, you can hear me good. Before I even set up and everything, just sitting down and getting in some messages, a message that was coming in real eager was about the way we handle things, that's going to really change, especially, hey sis, how are you? I'm just talking about some quick messages that came in before I set up for the live. But one of the quick messages that was coming in as I was sitting down and getting the volume together and everything was, things are going to change with how we start handling things in our daily lives. And specifically, what came up was someone who's always on the phone dealing with difficult people. So, you know, like when you call about a bill or overcharge, or maybe you work in a particular field where you're constantly on the phone with people and you're dealing with miscommunication, frustration, delays, all of that stuff. The guys were like, pay attention now to how patient you're going to become. That the something that used to stress you out and cause you anxiety is not going to feel like that as much anymore. That you're going to find that you might even surprise yourself at how calm you are, that you already know things are going to work out. So if you have to be on these difficult calls with people where it's always frustrating, nothing seems to go your way, you always getting the short end of the stick, you getting either cheated or delayed or anything like that. Watch how things change when you bring a different level of patience to that. How you go into it, if you're already going into it angry, nervous, anxious, you're always going to get the same response. And so the message for you, if that's your experience or you find yourself in that experience, is approach it differently. Enter into this space that usually creates anxiety for you. Enter into it with a different level of calm and watch how the entire interaction changes. And that's usually when you find that things start going in your favor. You start getting the responses you need. You start, if it's a dispute, it starts resolving in your favor. So whatever it is, with anything at all, be it a job, government entities, anything, if it's frustrating for you, if you felt like you've been cheated, you're not been treated fairly, enter into it now with a different sense of calm and watch how everything just flows in a direction that is perfect for you. But you have to bring a different energy first, so you don't replay the same scenario over and over and over again. So that wanted to come in. Hey, mom, darling, my sister, she's all sick. I'm sending you healing vibes. I'm like a Care Bear over here for you, Nick, just sending you all that love. I hope you heal up. All right. So I wanted to start off before we get into the part two. Start off with a power of love message. I feel like we need to remember the power of love. There's nothing more powerful than that. All right, let's see. What does love want to say to us? Come on. Okay. Let's see what this says. Hold on. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm going to show you first. That's nice. That's beautiful. Acceptance. You are ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. I don't think there's going to be any more or any greater a sense of peace when you release trying to control other people. I can speak to that from experience. When you try to control other people, oftentimes you're just trying to control how something turns out for you. And we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be blindsided. We don't want to be upset. We don't want to. Sometimes it's just about not wanting to do extra stuff. We don't want to have to do extra stuff and fix that and clean that up. But when we can come to an understanding that no matter how something turns out is always for our greater good, it's easier to just release control of a situation. And something I learned that I've been trying is the mantra that no matter what I'm going through, this is something that's just going to teach me about myself. And I have to keep reminding myself of that, no matter what it is, if I'm taking the car to get the brakes done, if I'm going into the grocery store, if I'm walking into a crowded space, I just keep telling myself, anything I experience in this space is something that's going to bring me to a greater understanding of myself. So then I focus on that positive aspect of it instead of focusing on the fact that nothing is going my way. And then I don't waste time trying to control people or control the situation just so it works out for me. It doesn't matter how it turns out. It's always going to turn out good for you. You just have to see the positive side of that. So I like that acceptance. I think that's a great reminder. What we got here? Big 1111. Thank you, Galaxy Girl. Greetings. Sadie? Get out. Sadie is still up. I'm glad you're awake. I'm glad you're awake. I listened to your love reading before I came on. Yeah, you made it. And I loved it. I love that love reading. It was nice. So let's get into it. Let's get back into this article that I found. It's called Spiritual Energy Exchange, All You Need to Know. And if you're joining now and you didn't catch the first one, we were just talking about how energy exchange is really going to be different in this new energy, how it's going to amplify and become something that we can tangibly become aware of, wield, use it to protect yourself, use it to heal. It's just a different level of the spiritual abilities we have and the spiritual powers we're going to unveil for ourselves. But it starts by grounding ourselves in a knowing of how to use it. All right. So we're picking up where it's talking about 5 unique exchanges of energy. Energy is everywhere. Nature is energy, and humans are too. Therefore, there are different energy exchanges between people. Some are focused more on cultivating and strengthening relationships. Others are designed to exchange knowledge and wisdom, enriching their minds. Plus, the quality of energy between individuals varies on a case by case basis. Now, it would be impossible to examine all types of energy exchanges. There's just too many of them. However, we can take a moment to reflect on more common interactions. So, the first one we're going to delve into is sexual energy exchange. Let's see what it says. Learning to channel sexual energy cultivates an intimate connection. What are the benefits of mastering sexual energy exchange between two partners? Expressing your desires sensually can create a vibrant, passionate bond. When your energies intertwine, it's always a beautiful, intense experience. Physical touch feels electric, and that's the power of sexual energy. When the tension you give is reciprocated, it feels meant to be. In a way, you become one. The energies at play create a powerful, energetic fusion. But it isn't just physical contact that makes it intense, but your emotions too. When your sensuality and emotions collide, it feels transcendent. Together, you feel each other as you satisfy desires and delight in endless pleasure. There's no need to elaborate on why sex feels great, but recognizing the underlying energies at work can help you take it to another level. Explore this spiritual aspect. When your bodies connect, it's always a spiritually overwhelming experience. So, what my guide wanted to expand on that was when they talked about it isn't just physical contact that makes it intense, but your emotions too. So, what they expanded into that about sexual energy exchange is that when two people come together to have a sexual experience, okay, this is what I'm hearing. They said the best sex that you're looking for in your life, you've never had it yet. You think back to your best moment in a sexual experience, and they're saying you've never had a truly amazing sexual experience yet. And this is why they said, because the physical aspect of sex is great. You can experience that to the maximum amount of pleasure your body can handle. But when you add in the emotional aspect of being sexually connected, until the emotions are developed in a way that you no longer lie to yourself or deny yourself what you truly need, you haven't had the best sex yet. Because there is a state of showing up honestly within a sexual encounter that changes the entire experience. So to heal yourself of everything that blocks you emotionally, and then to show up completely emotionally free within a sexual encounter, that takes it to an extremely different level. And that's kind of what the idea of tantric sex, it kind of encompasses, this showing up and this meeting of two physical bodies and the soul. So there is a physical connection and a spiritual connection in honesty and acceptance and complete appreciation of your partner. And when two souls show up that way, that's when it'll be the best sex you ever had. So I was just laughing because that whole conversation was playing out. Yeah, I know it's getting spicy. I didn't expect to go there. But it's the guys, not me. All right. Yeah, full presence. All right, number two, intellectual energy exchange. Talking to people exchanges energy. Listening does too. What you say and hear impacts your life and the lives of others more than you think, even if it's a trivial conversation. When you share your ideas with the world, you share a part of yourself. You share your energy. Thoughts are not confined to your mind, they are free. When you think, you form energy. No, when you think, you form energy. But when you speak, you release it into the world. So think about that for a minute. You have a thought in your mind, and that's you taking all the elements of something and putting it together to create a thought. Now, as you speak, you're releasing that thought into the world. You've just manifested. So we're manifesting every single day. And some of us are sitting here thinking, man, manifesting is hard. It's not hard. We naturally do it all the time. Every time you speak, you manifest. The word is powerful. It's the beginning of creation because it takes, imagine the thoughts be in the spiritual realm. And as it comes through the mouth is the womb, and the creation comes from that space, and it becomes a real thing that someone experiences. That's why when you ever talk to someone and they can either uplift you or tear you down, when you feel that feeling, isn't that real for you? That's real for you. You really feel either hurt or uplifted. And that's real. And it carries on into real life consequences and effects, you know what I'm saying? As you go on throughout your day. So just think about how powerful it is, how powerful you are every single day when you speak. Now you can understand why certain cultures they take a vow of silence, because when they understand how powerful the tongue is, and it's your mouth is the womb of creation into this physical space, they choose instead to be silent until they can master their thoughts. That way when they speak, they are creating from a masterful space. Just think about that. All right, hold on. Sharing knowledge with others is one of the best ways to convey love and healing. When you enlighten another soul, the universe shimmers in delight and rewards you in turn. Never pass up an opportunity to enrich another's mind and sharpen your own. Be willing to listen to those who cross your path. Truly listen. Be open minded and willing to entertain ideas that may go against your train of thought. Every conversation provides an opportunity to expand your perspective. Every conversation provides an opportunity to expand your perspective. And you know, with that, you know who is here on this planet to shift our perspective, but we oftentimes don't give them the opportunity to truly listen? Children. If you want to know the truth about anything in your life, if you want to know how you are perceived, ask a child. They'll tell you the truth. We have to listen to kids, and this is why we have to listen to them. Look at this perspective. The closest we are to wisdom and knowledge is in the spiritual realm. That's where you maintain all your knowledge, all your wisdom. You remember all your lives. You are a masterful soul, endless being, endless potential of energy. When we come into the physical realm, that gets limited, right? Because we don't remember all of who we are, because you couldn't fit all of who you are into this small frame. This body houses energy. So if it was to truly have all your energy, you would have to be a lot bigger than this. You would have to be huge to contain all the energy that is you. So that's what can lead to forgetting. We don't remember who we are. So as we get older in this physical space, the one who has the most memory and is closest to the spiritual realm of knowledge and wisdom are the ones that are brand new. They're not that far removed from the all-knowing spaces. So children actually have more spiritual wisdom and knowledge than adults do, because they're closer to the remembering of it. They haven't become barnacled with all of life's experience to forget. So they're actually way more connected than we are. So if you truly want to know about yourself, ask a kid. They'll tell you. Ask them anything about anything you're going through. Hey, I'm having this trouble, this problem at work. Frame it so that they understand. But you'll be surprised the wisdom they can give you. But you just got to be willing to believe they have something to teach you. Yes, they are the greatest teachers. Hi, Ashley. How are you? Yes, they are pure. I'm telling you. But most people don't ask because they don't want to know. So if you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you're an auntie, if you want to know the truth, ask a kid and see what they tell you. There's also another way to exchange energy, and that's through teamwork. When we work together, we bring out the best in each other. We find clever ways to problem solve. We uplift and inspire each other to think broader than before. Being surrounded by intellectuals is an energy-rich environment where ideas flourish. When that door is closed, you miss out on thought-provoking conversations and potentially life-changing and stimulative energy exchanges that can rewire your brain. Of course, the significance of intellect goes without saying. Keep your mind sharp so that your soul may thrive. And this is the point now where we have to re-examine how much of our energy we give to spaces that don't encourage us to heal. That's one of the biggest things we're going to have to look at this year is, where are you giving your energy and who are you giving your energy to? Because if you're pouring into people now, people need to pour right back into you. There's no depleting now. We got to plug the holes so that anything you do, it gives back to you the same amount. It reciprocates in love, in energy, in wisdom, in something that's just going to keep you going. We can't keep giving to spaces that don't give back to us. And we can't keep giving to people who don't give back to us. Okay? So we got to build and exchange energy from a teamwork, a team-minded state of mind. All right. Third, creative energy exchange. Creative energy is released and shared through self-expression. Even if you don't think you're creative, you are in some way. Everyone is creative. Now, maybe you're not good at creating art, but perhaps you've studied art or given it a fair go. But maybe you're good at problem solving and creative cooking recipes. Maybe you've got a knack for interior decoration, or you're creative in sports. Either way, there's a hint of creativity infused into everything we do. Sharing that energy with others can enhance your skills and cultivate imagination. When two creative minds meet, it always results in an inspirational flow. You help each other think by exchanging ideas, thinking outside the box, and daring to express yourself. In the artistic sense, exchanging this type of energy is a must. You learn to synergize with other artists, and to reach better results. Ideas can blend like vibrant colors to create a cohesive masterpiece. But creativity is essential in every aspect of life, not just art. Mastering this energy exchange can evolve your creative thinking to a higher level. You become more innovative and inspired by drawing inspiration from other people. Speaking of which, they also benefit from your energy, enriched by your creativity. And I want to talk on that a little bit because, listen, everybody here, 9 of us now here, everybody here is creative in some way. Do you know I can paint my ass off here? But if I was to sketch something, so let's say if I looked at a flower and then I come home and I'm trying to sketch that flower from memory, it looks like a 3-year-old did it. I'm not good at sketching from memory at all, at all. But I have my sister in the chat here, and she could just look at something and just sketch it like it's no big deal. So we all have beautiful creative energy. People usually give to people who don't give back or deserve it. Yeah, yeah, that's true, Jean. So I'd love to know if you comfortable enough to share. I'd love for you to tell me what your creative energy is. I know my mom, she put sewing yesterday. My mom is really good at sewing. She used to make my baby clothes when I was younger. She used to make baby clothes. She made wedding dresses. She made her own clothes. Sometimes when we go shopping, I'm in my mind, I'm like, Mom, you could make something better than this. So I'm always encouraging her to sew because she's really good at it. But if you feel comfortable, I'd love to know what your creative gifts are. Ashley, you can draw? I could see that. I could see that. I think I want to do something like I maybe do like a sketch Friday, something like that, where you guys just send me something you sketch for the week and I'll just post them up and show them and just see over time if we all kind of get better at just being creative. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. Shoot me an email. I thought it might be pretty good to get us all creating again. All right. Okay, still trying to figure out. Yeah, I think that's a cool idea too. Yeah, art and baking. So whatever you do, if you bake, if you draw something, maybe do something on a Friday where we just kind of just share all the stuff we done for the week and the ways we got creative. And I'll just put it together in like a little fun video so we can see what we're all doing. So yeah, let's shoot to do that. If you do something creative or create something this week and you want me to share it, just send it to me in my email. It's in my description. And I'll kind of get that going. All right. The fourth, emotional energy exchange. Emotions create a direct link to those around you. When you're sad, others feel it, and it goes both ways. You can sense another person's emotions just by their presence. You can tell their mood and tune in to their inner world. However, establishing an empathic connection involves a deeper spiritual level. It's not just about sharing emotions anymore, but about feeling them deep down. Some people are more empathic, but this skill can be mastered like any other. With empathy, you can help other people by alleviating their pain and suffering. Tread carefully because empathy makes every emotion twice as intense, if not more. And this is a very important thing. I don't want to skip over this. If you're already empathic and you're going on your healing journey, you're going to feel everything more intense. So you might find that in a relationship, people start saying, you're becoming so sensitive. You didn't used to be this sensitive. You might start hearing those words. Okay, if you haven't already. You feel everything amplified twice as much. Hurt really hurts. When you feel sad for someone, the sadness is really sad. That's why most people avoid healing. Because if you already have trouble with how much you feel and how deeply you feel, then subconsciously you already know if you go into deeper healing, you're just going to be just cracked wide open and you're just going to be feeling everything. And that's when you find yourself in those states where you're in your bed crying for like 2, 3 days. You're just overwhelmed by feeling things. But the more you understand how to ground that energy, it doesn't knock you out for several days. You're able to feel it and process it more quickly, more quickly and more quickly. And that's going to become very important to be able to do that. Really important to do that. Exchanging emotional energy is always a beautiful, heartwarming experience, especially when it's reciprocated. When your hearts are aligned, your vibrations fall into balance. It becomes easier to share pain or joy, and it creates a path to love and healing. However, understanding emotions requires nonverbal communication. Some people don't voice how they feel. You have to look beneath the surface. Trust your intuition. Learn to read body language. These things sharpen your empathy. Mastering the art of emotional energy exchange helps you influence the moods of those around you. You learn to radiate a comforting presence, offering support during hardship. People feel more inclined to trust you and open up emotionally. And this goes both ways, allowing you to reveal your vulnerabilities without fear. So, if that sounded amazing to you, to be able to show up for someone like that, you also have to imagine it going the other way as well, where you're vulnerable and you are safe and you are comfortable enough to open up to someone else so they can be there for you. That's how you keep the energy flowing and nothing gets stuck. But you have to use a discernment, because when your heart just bursts wide open, sometimes that's not for everybody. Sometimes you are not in a safe space to be vulnerable with someone. So this is where your discernment comes in and your choices about who you have in your space. Because if and when the time comes where you really need to open up and be vulnerable so you can have a healed moment, you want that to be with someone you're comfortable sharing that with. You don't want your feelings rejected or dismissed or ignored or laughed at. So choosing your partner, choosing your friends, choosing people who are on their healing journey, it becomes important so that you have a safe space to be vulnerable and heal too. Okay, the fifth one. Gee, I will have to think about that. I definitely can't draw. Yes, a broken heart is open heart. Oh, I love that word, Ashley. Yes, emotional intelligence. That's an important word. Yes. Yes, I love emotional intelligence, because there's the mind, body, spirit, right? We embody within us the Holy Trinity of mind, body, spirit. The body grows and matures on an automated system. So you will naturally go through puberty, go through menopause, you get gray hair, your skin starts to wrinkle, your laugh line set in. The body naturally is on an automatic system to mature and grow. But the mind and the emotions are not. Those we have to take an active role in, because those are where we are more deeply connected. We are more deeply connected to mind and spirit than the body, because the body is temporary. But your mind, your consciousness, your awareness, and your emotional state are forever evolving. So that's not on an auto system. So we have to become more active participants in becoming intelligent in mind and emotions. Because you ever seen somebody who's 60, 70 years old and they're very immature? Well, the body grew up, but the mind and the emotions didn't. Trauma can keep us stuck in places that we don't even realize we need to grow out of. Okay. 5, spiritual energy exchange. Establishing a spiritual link with another person is a soul enriching experience. Unlike other bonds, this connection demands a higher state of being. Only those spiritually awakened and fluent can intertwine their spiritual worlds. First, understand your vibrations and learn how to control them. You can't receive another person's spiritual energy if you're out of balance. Be in harmony with your inner self. A spiritual connection is never negative and always results in growth and progress. Therefore, you must set the right intentions and channel them from a place of love. You can take your vibrations higher through prayer, meditation, and mindfulness. Sometimes channeling spiritual energy can trigger an awakening. That's because people can share knowledge and guidance on navigating the ups and downs of the spiritual journey. You can learn from other people's failures and triumphs. And let me stop right there. Learn from other people's failures and triumphs. I'll give you this advice if you're going to start a channel. If you're going to start a channel and you're in the process of doing it, as your channel grows and it has its ups and downs, you're going to evolve and get better at what you present on your channel. And there's going to become a time where you're going to go back and look at your old stuff and you're going to cringe. You're going to have a cringe moment. You're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I was wearing that. I can't believe I said that. Oh my, the lighting is terrible. There's so much noise in the background. But listen, that's the evidence of your growth. And if people learn from our failures and our triumphs, you don't only want to show it when it's perfect, because we're teaching and we're learning and we're growing, and everybody messes up. We all mess up. That's just life. And I think it shows maturity when you can own your failures, or you could say, yeah, I messed that up. But look at the progress I've made since then. And my guys always tell me, don't delete the evidence. And the evidence is that even through your failures and your shortcomings and your missteps, you got better. So why destroy the evidence of how you got better, right? So don't destroy the evidence. Because one day you might need to look back and appreciate it somehow, okay? Heeding their life story allows you to make the right choices and decisions. Usually, a spiritual exchange is a self-healing experience, fostering spiritual well-being. Aligning your vibrations with another soul can help you sustain peace and harmony. The benefits are far too many to put to list, but it can take time and effort to get there. This is the ultimate goal for anyone looking to master the art of spiritual energy exchange. All right, the next topic is how to cleanse and protect your energy. This is important. This is the part we need to know. You exchange energy with everyone you meet or cross paths with every day. Like it or not, your aura interacts with the people around you. Therefore, it's crucial to cleanse and protect the sacred energy within. Most of these practices boil down to self-love and self-care rituals. In other words, it comes down to preserving balance and harmony in a world that may try to defeat you. That brings us to the question, how do you cleanse your energy? Being mindful of the world around you, you can cleanse your inner being by choosing what you let inside. The more love enters you, the more you enrich your soul. Taking a break when you need is crucial to preserving your inner balance. When work starts to get the better of you, step back. Health always comes first. When work starts to get the better of you, step back. Health always comes first. Especially if you have children. Don't work yourself to death if you have kids. Not unless that's your own business. Think about the amount of energy you give to the owner of that company so that they can be there for their family and their kids and live to see their grandchildren and great grandchildren. They have a life off of the work you do for them. But don't give so much to a job that now you come home, you don't even have patience for your kids. You don't have time for your kids. You don't have joy for your kids because you gave all your energy to someone else to have that with their children. Think about that. Always reserve energy for yourself and your family. That's very important. When you cleanse and purify your energy by reconnecting, you can cleanse and purify your energy by reconnecting with nature. For example, walking barefoot on grass helps you shed stagnant negative energy. When surrounded by greenery, your soul shimmers in delight and is reborn. Various religious practices like prayer can eliminate harmful sources of energy too. Tapping into the interconnectedness of nature can leave you feeling refreshed. Some people use crystals. They're known to absorb and transmute energies not just within you, but in your home. Placing them strategically creates a vibrant barrier. So I have that in the corners of my house is always a piece of crystal. I had a nice raw piece of rose quartz I got. Man, it was, if you know rose quartz, it can get expensive. I got this raw piece. It was, I think, barely $12. This was just somebody that went and collected them on their own. And I was guided to put it outside my door when I lived in Arizona. And I think it was there for about a month before somebody stole it. so you can use your crystals to grid your house, to put around your house. You can put them in gardens. You can just put them anywhere where you feel like energy needs to be cleansed. All right. The sun is also a natural remedy against disharmony. Bask in the sunlight whenever possible to recharge and replenish your existence and replenish your essence, dispelling stress, anxiety, and heaviness. But how do you protect yourself against bad energy when it's everywhere around you? Set healthy boundaries. Be careful with people you've just met. When you meet someone new, you immediately start sharing energy, all kinds of it. So communicate your limits and intentions and resist temptation. Now he added here, resist temptation and sin. I'm going to explain to you what my guides told me about sin. Sometimes these words can be triggering for people, especially if you have a religious background, which I do. I was actually baptized in the Seventh-day Adventist Church when I was a kid. But I moved away from religion to a more spiritual state of living because that's what I was guided to do, to learn. The religion I was in was limiting on what other resources I can gain information on. And when you really want to break into understanding everything, you gain a lot more wisdom that way, because my guides told me truth. When people talk about the Big Bang, that was also true for truth and wisdom. There was just a shattering of truth and wisdom, and it landed in all different spaces. It landed in all different religions, in all different cultures, in all different languages. So when you read any text, any religious text, sacred text, mythology, folklore, fantasy, whatever you read and you're guided to, there's always some splintered form of truth in it. And you are to be loyal to the truth only, not a person, not an institution, not a religion, not anything. You have to be loyal to the truth, and you have to resonate with truth to know it when you come across it. And the way you resonate with truth is you have to sit with yourself and know truth as you feel it within you. When you sit in meditation and you feel truth within yourself, and you spend time being truthful about your feelings, intentions, motives, you start to feel what the energy of truth feels like. And now, when you read text or you listen to people, you ping and vibrate with what is true for you, because you will have already known the baseline of truth. You already know what it feels like within you, so you can pick it up when you hear it everywhere else. And that's the only thing you need to be loyal to, because the truth you resonate with is going to set you on the path of your purpose. Okay? Mm-hmm. They say rose quartz shows up when it's needed and finds a new home when it's work. Yeah, that rose quartz found a new home, all right. It was snatched. It was snatched into a new home. Oh, oh man, okay. Actively practicing self-care and self-love prevents negativity from entering your life. When under a lot of stress, pause to reflect. Take care of yourself daily. Use protective crystals to create an energetic shield both within and around you. Mind your aura too, and always aspire to grow spiritually. Oh, yeah. And another thing I wanted to talk about with sin that my guides told me was, I had this conversation with them when I was coming into conflict with what I was taught through religion and then what I was discovering on my own journey. And I wanted to understand more deeply the idea of sin and what sin was. And they say the truth is always simple. People can make things complicated if they want to, but truth is always simple. And they said, what sin is, this is just what they told me. If it resonates, if you can pull some wisdom from it, do. But if what you're doing works for you, just leave it alone. If it's not broke, don't fix it. They said sin is going against something you know to be divine and true for you. That's the sin. Sin is not what somebody else lays out as these set of rules, and if you break it, then you're bad or good. Everyone is born with a conscience. And for any man, woman that goes against their conscience, they have sinned against themselves. So, if, for example, you do harm to somebody or you hurt someone's feelings, and there's this instinct in you, this voice in you, your conscience saying to you, you need to fix that, you need to make that right. And you find a reason to go against it, you have just sinned against yourself, because you have denied yourself the opportunity to learn and grow and heal a situation. And ultimately, that's the sin, because that's what you're here to accomplish. You're here to accomplish growth and love and learning and wisdom. So if you go against that, you would have sinned against yourself because you denied yourself healing. And that's what they describe to me that a sin is. Okay, in conclusion, spiritual energy exchange happens either intentionally or unintentionally. However, mastering it allows you to choose what you radiate and receive. Although it happens on a spiritual level, energy exchange affects every part of your life. From sexual to creative energy, it's a daily occurrence in any person's life. Take the time to fine tune your spiritual senses and learn how to control and master them. All right, that's the end of the article. I will add the link to the description in this live, but it's also in the first one. If you want to know, I just get led randomly to these articles that my guides want me to read. Sometimes it's a way for me to just take the pieces of wisdom I have and it fits perfectly with this topic, so I get to share it. Sometimes I'm reading these things and I'm learning right along with you. I'm always learning and I'm always willing to learn from everybody I interact with. So I appreciate you. I love you. 51 minutes. All right, we went under an hour this time. Good. But I really want to do that stuff with the creative things that we do for the week. So I'm excited about that. And if you want to jump on board, I'll start. I don't care if it's a scribble. Sometimes I scribble on my phone. Let me show you one of my scribbles. I'm always scribbling, drawing something just to stay creative. And I scribble this little guy. He's like a 60s little hippie old man. But it's just the ways I get creative and silly. It doesn't have to be perfect. So even if you think you can't draw, it don't matter. Let's get better and let's laugh together. Even if it's on your phone, send me a screenshot. And I think I'll put something together, put a little video together and put your name in there and give you credit, and we'll just share some love and creativity from that space. So I hope you learned something on energy transfer. I did. All right. And as I'm guided to come on with more wisdom and more knowledge from my guides, I'll share that with you. I think the next time I hop on, I'm going to talk about, I only tapped into it a little bit when I started this series about how I ended up talking to my guides, but I'll tell you a little bit more of how, as channelers and empaths, we can actually use that energy we have to channel anything. So if you want to write a book, there's some ancestor in your past that can help you write that book. If you want to get better with your finances, there's an ancestor that can help you with your finances. If you want to become a better mom, a better father, a better entrepreneur, there's always an ancestor with answers and guidance for you that you can tap into. If you want to learn martial arts, if you want to know how to fight, if you want to know how to exercise, if you want to know how to play a musical instrument, what they call savants is the hidden potential in all of us. So you can actually do all these things. Everything you've ever wanted to do, there's an ancestor that can guide you to that possibility and that thread of reality. That was the whole point of being a channel of energy and being an empathic soul, is that you can pull into you all the wisdom from all these ancestors and you have endless potential, endless gifts just waiting for you. All you got to do is figure out, what do you want to learn next? I'm also hearing some of us, we're going to have to start learning different languages, Sanskrit, French, you name it. Some of us are going to start to speak the old tongues. So ancient dialects are going to start coming back, where people are just going to know how to speak these languages. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to channel. But before we can get all of that in and create this exciting, beautiful new life, we have to understand how to ground the energy we're going to be receiving so it doesn't overwhelm, right? And it doesn't scare you. And you're in a state where when these gifts do come through, you are surrounded by people who can help and support you through it. So I love you. I love you. I love you. Thanks, Mom. Love you, Sadie, Ashley, Big 1111, Jean, Candy, Starling. Make sure I don't miss anybody. All right. I love you. Go to bed, get some rest if you can. If you can't sleep and this energy got you feeling like a night owl, my guys were telling me it's time to do work. If they're keeping you up and you can't sleep, there's something you should be doing. You either should be journaling, reading a book, meditating. But if you're actually awake and energetic, use that time to truly put your energy in the direction of where you want to go, because it's an amplified space for you. Anytime you're awakened at a point where you should be sleeping, the energy is really high to amplify and manifest. So use that time to do something that you want more of. Okay? So I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for spending time with me. You could have been everywhere, anywhere, but you chose to be here. I appreciate you. I love you. Take care, everybody. Good night, everyone. I love and appreciate you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.